Welcome to the Vanilla To Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 72 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your naughty hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also known as...
The Naughty Couple.
That'll be the one.
That's the one.
We soothe into your eardrum and corrupt your neural senses.
I'm not sure soothe. My voice is definitely not soothing, nor is the giggle.
Yes, you titillate with your giggle. Titillate the eardrums with your giggle.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, Mr. N.
Wow, what a week it's been.
It has.
And we're still kind of recovering from last weekend, aren't we, really?
Yeah, I've realised that I'm too old to do late nights now. It takes me a whole week to recover.
So, we'll explain, dear listener. This is an episode that is in two parts. We're talking to you now, and then by our magical naughty time machine, we're going to take you back to last weekend, and you're going to join in the fun. Well, some of the fun. You're not going to be able to join in all the fun with us, but you're going to join in some of the fun, and we're going to introduce you to the fabulous
LadyLa and
Sir John.
Yes.
Who make up the fabulous couple Town and Country.
Yeah, they do.
Town and Country is spelled Cuntry.
The little naughty.
It's very naughty on Fab Swingers, Town and Country. And they are just the most beautiful couple who we first met on Halloween night.
It was on Halloween, yes.
On Halloween at Liberty Elite.
Yes.
And we just kind of just bumped into them, didn't we, really?
Yeah, we did. We got chatting, and it turns out that we have quite a lot in common. Loads in common. And, just an absolute... Just adorable couple.
An instant click.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? An instant click.
Yeah.
And, you think after kind of like 72 episodes that we kind of like learned all there is to learn about the naughty hobby. But we've also learned that you never stop learning.
Exactly.
And we kind of like discovered something about ourselves, I think, last week.
I would definitely say that we did.
So today we're talking about sex.
What a shocker.
You didn't expect to hear that on a swinging podcast, did you? But before we go into all the gory details or sexy, sordid details of the naughtiness that unfolded, there's another little story I want to tell you. So this is a lady swinger, a unicorn, and she's kind of like, feels a little bit aware, because she wants to join the naughty hobby, but there's a part of her body that she's not happy with.
Okay.
She's got very large lips on her pussy.
Right.
Which I find kind of sexy. But she's got like extra long lips on her pussy, and she's not happy about this. She want what do they call them these days? A designer vagina.
That's the one.
Which, I think each vagina is designer in its own way. But she wants, a nip and tuck, shall we say.
Okay.
So, she'd been to Liberty Elite, and she thinks to herself, oh, well, no. If I'm going to really enjoy this, I want to feel confident in myself. I want to change this about myself. So I'm going to go and get one of those designer vaginas.
Right.
So she goes along, private hospital, she thinks, I'm not waiting. Private hospital, get it all done quickly. So she goes in, And the doctor has a look at her and he says, well, you've got a very nice pussy as it is, but if you want to nip and tuck, we can do that for you. So she decides to go for the full works. He brings out like a diagram picture. You can have the Hollywood, nice tight tuck. Hollywood tight tuck. Yes, I'll have one of those. So she cuts a long story short. She goes for it and she has the whole thing done. And she wakes up after the operation. And she notices straight away that there's 3 bouquets of flowers waiting for her at the bottom of the bed. And the first one is 6 roses. Yeah. And it says, I hope you're happy with your new look. I hope everything goes well. And I hope you're going to be able to enjoy yourself now. Love from Mom.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second one is a friend at Liberty Elite, male friend. This is a bouquet of 24 beautiful red roses. And it says, I hope you're okay. I hope all the operation went well. And please, can I have a first crack at it? And that's from Larry at Liberty Elite.
Okay.
And then the third bouquet is like this huge, gigantic 101 roses, 24 sunflowers, 50 orchids. It's just the biggest bouquet you've ever seen in your life, all strapped together. It's a huge, great big thing. And the doctor's sort of standing there making his notes. And she says, Doctor, there's no note on that third bouquet of flowers. And the doctor sort of stops writing, looks up at her, and he's shuffling, looking at the floor, looking a bit embarrassed. And he says, it's a little embarrassing. He said, when you went down to the operation, he said, the first thing we noticed, he said, is that you had a donor card. He said, we obviously take note of that in the operation. He said, we've actually donated you pussy lips. The third bouquet of flowers, he said, is from somebody who's on the 4th floor. They're a patient in our burns unit, and they just want to thank you for their brand new set of ears. Boom, boom.
Oh, dear.
And off we go.
I wondered how long that was going to go on for.
It's a little bit of a long one. Anyway.
Very good, dear. Very good.
So, we're going to go back now to last week, and we like introducing you, our dear listener, to new couples with new dynamics and all sorts of things. And we talked about Sir John and LadyLa on the podcast before.
We did.
And now is your chance to meet them.
Get inside their sexy world that they live in. And
it's always exciting meeting a new couple.
We love meeting new people.
Always. And we learned that kind of like, there was an instant click there, wasn't there?
Yes.
To begin with.
Yeah.
And it was the type of sort of friendship, you've probably had like holiday friendships or, met couples, in various different places, and you just instantly click and you feel like you've known them for years.
Yeah.
And that's how we felt with LadyLa and Sir John.
Yes.
Felt like we'd known them for years and years and years.
Very, very comfortable in their company. Mm-hmm. Conversation was so easy flowing. It was just, really good. We really like similar in as much as like LadyLa's quite protective, isn't she, over Sir John? She very similar dynamics. Yes.
She's
also a bit of a voyeur, isn't she?
Yes, which is like me. So me and LadyLa are very similar.
Yes.
Sexually kind of thing. We like watching, like see things going on. It's all very sexy. And we kind of were talking about that. You and Sir John were talking. It was just fascinating. It was just a fascinating night.
Yeah.
On Halloween, talking to them. And then it got a little bit naughty on the second meet.
It did.
And then we said, we're going to have to introduce you to our listener.
Yeah.
Because they'll love you. We know they're going to love you. And we kind of learned that sex with friends is different to sex with sometimes where it's happened more spontaneously in the club.
Yeah.
And it can be just an instant thing where sometimes you don't even know their name.
Yeah.
And so it's very different, isn't it? How would you describe the difference?
First of all, whichever scenario you're in, it's all very, very sexy. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we've been in the club, we've met probably a single guy in there. Don't particularly know his name, don't know anything about him, but obviously there's an attraction there, and it was just like, yep, let's just...
A click.
Yeah. And it's, you know, it's quite... what's the word I'm looking for? Exciting, spontaneous, kind of get down to it and everything, which is incredibly hot and incredibly sexy.
And you've got to kind of picture yourself, if you've never been to a club before, that you're already in a sexually charged environment.
Yes, absolutely.
Liberty Elite it's a beautiful club, beautiful surroundings. The whole place just makes you feel sexy.
Yeah, it does.
Lots of beautifully dressed people, and some people don't like getting dressed up.
No.
But you do feel sexy, you feel special about yourself when you're nicely dressed. And so to be amongst other people who are beautifully dressed, it makes you feel sexy.
It does. It does. So for me, that type of sex is, like we said, it's very spontaneous. It's probably almost like an instant attraction. And then obviously you've got the people that, yes, the attraction is there, but when you start talking to them and getting to know them a bit better, that attraction kind of builds. So that you find them even more attractive.
And we did a show on this where it would have been very easy to kind of jump in with LadyLa and Sir John, because we clicked instantly. We kind of discovered that we got a lot in common with naughtiness and sexually attracted to each other.
Yeah.
But we waited, we hung back, because we still weren't sure how we felt, you know, with each other. It's good to have that chat with each other. And we were like, oh, no, they're really sexy.
Yeah.
And you said you wouldn't mind, you actually said you'd enjoy to watch me play with LadyLa.
Yes, I did.
Which was, I was like, I had to sit down.
I know. I had to pick you up off the floor.
I know, not for long.
But I think this is where the difference is. And like I say, you know, any type of sex that you have, whether it is a spontaneous instant attraction or whether it's with somebody that you've started to get to know them.
Yes.
It's incredibly sexy, but just in slightly different ways. But with LadyLa and Sir John, one of the biggest attractions for me was how comfortable they made me feel and at ease, and there was no pressure.
No.
And especially with LadyLa, because obviously listeners know how I've always felt about seeing you with another woman, and it's, you know, it's taken me a very long time to feel comfortable.
But we were never in that situation where it's like, I want to be with another woman.
No, I know.
I felt, you know, very comfortable. I always enjoyed what we did within the hot wife scenario, and still do, I hasten to add.
Yeah.
I still enjoy hot wife dynamics. But there's that kind of thing where it was nice socially to be with another couple and sexually play with another couple.
I think that was helped by LadyLa and Sir John.
What, that made you feel easier about seeing me with another woman?
Yes, because they made me feel incredibly comfortable and at ease. And especially LadyLa, because they took time to ask what we liked and what our dynamic was and things. I mean, obviously they knew from the podcast because they listened to the podcast anyway. But LadyLa definitely made me feel incredibly safe, reassured, and I just thought she was just so thoughtful.
I think we bang on about this all the time. Often, if you're a couple and you are concerned about how you will feel after playing or after a meet, the importance of who you're playing with is so vital.
Oh, it is.
To the whole ingredients, to what experience you will have.
Yes, absolutely.
You want somebody who's understanding to your dynamic, understanding to how far you are in the journey. And I think if you're playing with somebody who we use what we would call experienced in the naughty hub, I think it's safe to say that now, I think we would, even if it was just soft play or whatever, we would play with somebody different if we knew it was their first time.
Yes.
Than to somebody, you know, who we consider an experienced hobbyist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. But the other thing that also put me at ease was the fact that you could clearly see how much LadyLa and Sir John adored each other. And they constantly talked about it as well, didn't they?
And that's a special thing.
Yeah.
Because to be invited into somebody's partnership, because that's what you are. You're invited, be it for, an hour, or in our case, 4 hours. You are part of a sexual relationship. They're inviting you into their intimacy.
Yeah.
And that's a really special thing.
It is. It absolutely is.
And if you can see that the couple like LadyLa and Sir John, who just totally adore each other and have got the tightest relationship, that kind of makes it more special.
Yeah, it does. When you play with somebody that you've started to get to know, and you form a friendship with them, I think that sexual tension starts to build. So it's not like it's like wham bam, it's there and then it's done.
There's people that I think are incredibly sexy that we've never ever played with.
Yeah.
That I think, oh my God, and I've watched them and gone, oh my God, you are so hot. I've seen them naked and playing with other people. And we've been in environments where people have said, I didn't think they were interested.
Yeah.
And it's just that weird thing of you never actually hook up. And again, for anyone who's not been to a club, it's not a free-for-all. It's very, very civilised, where there's lots of etiquette and lots of dancing around each other, isn't there, I suppose?
There is. I mean, we've had people that, we've met and we've chatted to and everything and never played with. And then afterwards they've gone, oh, we really wanted to come up and say, would you like to play? But we were too nervous to do it. And if you're in that situation, don't be nervous.
Exactly.
Just go and say hi. And, if it's the right thing, it'll happen. And if it's just that, you don't click that way, it doesn't matter.
And luckily for us, LadyLa and Sir John, LadyLa she was a confident lady. And
Very.
Just came out and...
Oh, she did. She did, bless her.
She took the bull by the horns. And that was very lucky for us.
Yes, it was.
And so we last weekend, here's how our weekend was going to work out. We were going to the club on Saturday because it was Miss Foxy's birthday.
Yes.
And we were really excited to see Miss Foxy. We'd invited Sir John and LadyLa along and said, come along. And then on the Sunday, we were going to go and record the interview with Sir John and LadyLa.
Yeah.
Then it all got fucked up.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Foxy was under the weather.
He was, bless him.
He was feeling under the weather.
He wasn't under anything else, which I'm sure he would have preferred to have been. But he was poorly.
Yeah, he'd have preferred to be under Heather rather than under weather. Whoever Heather is. But yes, so poor old Mr. Foxy was under the weather. I hope he's getting well soon and all firing on all cylinders again.
Yes.
And so we were like, okay, we'll swap things around. You sent a quick message to LadyLa and Sir John and said, would you like to do the podcast on the Saturday?
Yeah. And
we did.
We did.
And they really kindly invited along to the lair. And, oh my gosh.
I think it was known as the townhouse, but not that townhouse.
Yes. It was the townhouse that isn't the club, the townhouse. It was the private lair townhouse.
Yes.
And, well, she had your knickers off within 2 minutes because she sent a beautiful photo of this buffet.
It was amazing.
And then the knickers were out the window of the car. We were on our way.
I was like, Mr. N, put your foot down. There are grapes to be ate.
Yeah, so I'll be doing my speed awareness course next week. And we got there and we kind of chatted for a bit. We did the show and it was just... And then we kind of thought, well, time was getting on, wasn't it? And then
it was. I mean, there weren't any expectations there. No. It was literally, we went along just to literally chat with them, record the podcast.
And we had already played with them once. We featured it on the show.
We did.
But we thought, well, would it happen? Obviously, and it's in their home, and you're never sure, and whatever. And whew.
The thing is, we were having such a lovely time getting to know them more and listening to their stories, which was great. And time just flew. I mean, the time went really, really quickly. And then sort of towards the end of us doing the recording of the podcast, it started to get a little bit
A little bit sexy.
A little bit sexy, chatty, and there was a little bit of flirty going on, and it was just like, shall we?
And then, dear listener, to cut a long story short, 4 or 5 hours later, I broke the bed. When I got dressed, tried putting Sir John's jeans on. Or LadyLa's jeans. I don't know whose jeans they are, but they weren't mine. That is how in a state mentally I was. How I drove home, I do not know. At about 4 o'clock in the morning.
It was hilarious because, yeah, exactly. We looked at the clock and it was like 3:15, and it was like, oh my God. And then we were like, oh God, I hope we haven't overstayed our welcome.
I know.
So we were saying, weren't we, on the way home? It's like, okay, so basically, we've been to their house, we've ate all their food.
Broke the bed.
Yeah.
Literally broke the
overstayed
bed.
our welcome, broke the bed, and you tried to nick Sir John's jeans.
Oh God. If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. Honestly, we're not normally like that. Oh, God.
Oh, it was hilarious.
So, they're probably taking an injunction out on us as we speak. But they're a beautiful couple, and if you get the chance to play with them, oh my God, they're wonderful.
Absolutely. Highly recommend them. They're amazing. They're such good fun and incredibly sexy.
Absolutely. And without further ado, we'll stop rabbiting. I think we should go back in our time machine, back to Saturday night, and introduce you to the most beautiful couple, town and country,
LadyLa and Sir John.
So here we are in the secret lair of LadyLa and Sir John.
Indeed.
And we met, how many weeks ago was it we were together?
Oh, it's a blur now. 4.
3, 4?
4, must be 4.
Must be.
It was Halloween, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, there we go. Halloween.
We don't remember where it was, we don't remember when it was.
I remember.
I think we all played it cool on Halloween.
We were very
We
cool.
all played it so cool, it was chill.
So that was your first visit to Liberty Elite, was it?
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
Yeah.
Halloween. And what did you think to the place?
Oh, it's such a cool place.
Lots of beautiful people.
Yes, yeah.
Very
But
beautiful
the bar
people.
area, it's just really nice to walk into, wasn't it? Like, you just feel like you're sitting and having a drink. And
Well, you had told me loads about Vanilla To Vixen, so I had to do a little bit of homework before.
So had you not heard of anything you didn't
No,
know?
I hadn't heard a lot.
You were a virgin to Vixen.
Yes, yes.
I've told you lots of like discussion points and bits, hadn't I?
Well,
But-
yeah, I mean, you like to sit on your tractor and listen to Vanilla To Vixen.
As you do, obviously. That was what Mr. N intended when he came up with the idea.
So we'd listened a lot.
Did you send us a message originally?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
You
let's
did.
go way
Yeah,
back
you did
before
it.
we even met there. So it was just actually a message to
Yeah,
us.
so quite early on when I first started listening, messaged her just to say like what an amazing podcast it was, because really related to it. Because like we have felt a little bit out there by ourselves, haven't
Yes.
we? Because there's
Really?
lots of people in, we like to call it our adventure, you call it the naughty hobby. Like
For
there's
us, yeah, it's definitely an adventure.
there's lots of people that are very singly focused. We were looking for, to be social and explore and have fun, but it's like, for us, it was about trying to make connections with other people, wasn't it? So we felt a little bit out there by ourselves, and then you came across your podcast and just really related to it.
And then the next thing, all our clothes fell off.
Yeah, that was fun.
No, it didn't happen like that. Other stuff happened.
No, we played it cool. We played it cool.
Other stuff happened first.
We played it
I don't know,
cool.
that's exactly
But
as
I
I
think-
remember it.
But I think we just connected, and I think that our dynamic was like you said, was very similar, which is what we were looking for, but perhaps took you guys a little bit by surprise. That
Very.
the similarity.
Yeah.
We did not expect to. It's uncanny how similar we are.
Yes,
And
yeah,
what's
yeah.
quite interesting is like you, Mr. N, you're like a voyeur, but then I also feel that I'm also quite similar to Mrs. N.
Okay.
and the some of the things that we have, like the bukkake or whatever, are very similar. But then you and Sir John are very similar, and then you guys, and so I like that. I like that dynamic. I like that.
Yeah, it wasn't usual. We weren't expecting to find somebody that was so much on our level.
No, and I think we were taken aback on Halloween. And we've if you've listened to the last couple of episodes, we kind of like it slowed it down a little bit. So we did. Like you say, it was cool on Halloween. It was just cool, and we kind of just did the social thing, and
quite a lot of innuendo.
Look, we both knew you guys were like amazing, you know, and pretty hot, and we both said like, oh yeah. Really loved that.
We didn't want to seem like fanboys, like, it's the podcast.
We didn't want to be like the groupie kids, you know, going, oh yeah, let's have a bit of Mr. and Mrs. Ben. We had to try and play it cool too. We were like, oh, no, let's just be cool on this.
So how far different do you think, or if it was any difference at all, our description of what a night is like compared to you actually going?
I actually think it's pretty accurate. I think what I like is the variety of people. I like the type of people that go there, because we've been obviously to different clubs, and you do get a different kind of mixture of people at different clubs. But I think the welcoming atmosphere was really good. Yeah, what do you reckon, Sir John?
Yeah, no, it was exactly as you described it. It was really good. It was just so
Miss
welcoming.
Roxy.
Just
Miss Roxy
walked into the bar.
She's just cool.
We were chatting to everybody, weren't we? Like,
I think that's
there was quite a few newbies there that night, weren't there?
Yeah, and I think that's important. I think that's important that you need to kind of put yourself a little bit out there, and, you know, just because you're talking to somebody doesn't mean you want to get in bed with them.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just about getting to know people, and if you go there for the social first, and then whatever happens afterwards is, you know...
Yeah. Well, we'd heard about Lids for a long time, obviously listening, and we'd known other couples that had been and said it was amazing, and it was a case of being so busy through the year.
But for us,
and we just said, like, we had a quiet weekend, let's just go that bit further, didn't we?
It was a little bit of a step up from...
So how would how would you describe your normal, your dynamic up to that point?
Oh, Jesus. Holy Mary.
Just cheeky buggers, really. We're just like best mates that are...
I think when we first ventured out into this, when we first met, this was not even on the cards for us.
Oh, no.
And I had been probably a unicorn in my 20s. And
I've been very innocent.
Yes.
So you were corrupted, Sir John.
Yes, it's always the women. It's always the women.
He likes to be so innocent, like alien. So innocent. And we sat here, you know, in the lair on a Sunday afternoon, and we said, we had sort of chatted a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, there'd been quite a bit of intrigue. You'd said a few times, I'd quite like to take you to a club sometime, just so you can see it, something you should see once in your life.
Yeah.
A novelty, just a novelty.
Yes, yeah.
So we set up,
and then we opened Pandora's box.
Have you been to clubs before you met Sir John?
I'd been to the one in Nottingham. Yeah, but then also when I was a unicorn, there wasn't clubs. So there was one in Normanton-on-Trent, which is now burnt down, God love it. But then there was also apartments that were hired that exclusive people would go to, that you would have fill out an application form, and you had to sort of be height and weight, and so it was all very... Yeah, it was different.
There are some parties like that. There are some parties. I'm not going to name them, but you literally have to be under 25. You have to be size 8 to 10. And at the end of the day, if that's what you want to go, if that's what you are and that's what you want to go and meet, then that's cool. But it's not going to be for everybody, is it?
No,
not at all.
And I think that's why I only kind of dabbled it about, with it in my 20s because I was just kind of curious, really. And then sort of, left it.
So John, when LadyLa mentioned about taking you to a club and everything, what was your thoughts on that? How
really intrigued. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. No, we like.
Oh, you had to have your arm bent back.
I was grabbing the car keys. Come on, let's go. No, we are a naughty pair in the bedroom, aren't we? So we're very adventurous, like to try lots of different things, and we've tried things once or twice and not liked it, and other things we still like, don't we? And it's just like I say, when you're with your best friend, it's a case of, should we do this or go on then?
And ironically, we didn't go to a club first of all together. We actually had a social meet.
We did, yes, yeah.
So, we literally dived in head first. So
LadyLa suggested it on the Sunday. I think the Tuesday night we were in somebody's living room. So John was a bit like, what's just happened here?
Because when we set our mind to it, it's like, right, that's it, we're all in. Right, we're getting, team outfits, let's go for it.
I think you guys have figured out that LadyLa is very shy.
Oh, she is, incredibly. Yes.
So for us, we had the social meet, and the social meet on the first time for us as a couple didn't go the way we had thought about it.
Okay.
It didn't go the way that we would have liked, and that wasn't because we were well into it. We were like, we'll tag team this, but it was one of the it was
they
the lady
weren't quite
in the
what
couple.
they said they were.
Yeah, they were.
A bit catfished.
So we,
You're a little bit catfished.
So we learned really, really quickly.
But we met them for a social in the pub, and we got them really well, and lovely couple. But when it came down to play, there was one more into it than the other.
Yeah, and their dynamic out of the bedroom was far more electric than actually when
that's happened to us.
They were in the bedroom. Yeah. So we walked away going, is this really kind of like right for us? So we took a break actually then after that for a few months. I deleted
the account. I was like, no, this is not.
Did you just take that individual experience and think that's how this thing works? That's how.
No, I think we felt a bit misleaded because he had said he was a straight bloke, and then he was quite happy for a lot more.
He really wasn't.
What?
He said he was straight, but he really wasn't.
No, he wasn't straight.
Fab straight. They call it fab straight.
Yeah. And then obviously the lady had said she was bi. So you look at the credentials.
And she really wasn't, was she?
And she was not by any means. So it was like awkward.
It was like completely the wrong way around.
And that is just the total reason not to lie on your fab, because it just makes for a crap.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have met a couple of couples that are together on Fab for the sake of being on, Fab, that they're not a couple outside of the bedroom. For us,
that dynamic doesn't work for us, does it?
But you literally deleted your account.
Yeah.
So how did you feel afterwards?
Afterwards, the first thing we did straight to McDonald's. Had about 4 Big Macs. But no,
we were just like, shit, what?
LadyLa
I felt
was
really
like,
bad for the woman.
Do
because...
you feel okay? And I was like, just leave me a minute. I need to process this.
Yeah, because I thought she was really going to be into that situation, because on messages she'd really given it out that she wanted to do this and everything else, and when it came down to it, I was the one that made the first move on her, and she completely froze.
We were the complete newbies, and
but you took the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
That's quite a unique.
And then we walked away going, oh shit. Like, have we upset them? And like, no sooner had we were driving home, they were like, can't wait to see you guys again. Really talking dirty on the phone. And we were like, but we've just left this situation a bit like, uncertain.
So they totally kind of misread the situation as well, because you obviously weren't.
I just think that, I don't know.
I think he really wanted to have the experience with me and you, and she had to just come along for the ride.
But afterwards, he because we had a bit of soft swap fun, didn't we? And then it comes to obviously the penultimate end, and then when we sat
She lay there like a bloody wet fish. It was embarrassing. It was awful. I'm sorry.
But like then he
I felt
started
sorry
like
for her.
stroking your arm and like looking at you really affectionately, and then ignoring his partner. And you're just like, whoa, okay, that just doesn't work for us.
I think you just have to
Yeah.
be very clear with each other, and then with, like you guys have said, you know, with other people, that sort of what you want. And
we had hope that finding an old, because they were a bit older than us, an older couple that had
Who'd
been
got this.
in the hobby for a while. That
we do like the.
I think
Slightly.
I think you've actually touched upon a subject that we've never actually spoken about, and that is, it's a really important one, is that sometimes the attraction, and it's a big attraction, especially for us, is to find other couples that are really, really into each other.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of why we all got on so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when
You got to
when
feel
we
the
left,
love. You got to feel the
when
love.
we left after Halloween, one of the first things LadyLa said to me, "Did you notice how Mr. and Mrs. N were touching hands?" She said, "They're clearly in love. You can see that." And that was something that, you know, attracted us to you guys, because that's what we want.
And that's-
you want to have fun and enjoy without any of the other bullshit. And like we soon found with Fab, there is a lot of other bullshit.
Oh, yes.
And politics.
Yes,
And politics
yeah.
that comes along with it.
Oh no, we did have politics. We were talking about Donald Trump in the hot tub in Liz.
We did. It was great.
I thought you were just.
That was one of the most random nights ever.
Everybody thinks as all sexiness goes on, but the weirdest conversations happen in that hot
Donald
tub.
Trump 1 minute.
Yeah.
Anal the next.
Titties the
I
next.
think that was why some girl was being having her first time being eaten out by another girl next to us. We were talking about Donald Trump.
Yes, that is true.
Very
Yes.
surreal.
How sad do we sound right now?
You can tell the ones that are really new to the hobby, can't you?
Mrs. N and LadyLa, like, shall we go upstairs? It's like, no, just got to finish talking about Donald Trump's campaign. Just give us 5 more
We're going to
minutes.
sort this situation out first, and then we'll be with you.
We've got
We'll deal
world
with
peace sorted.
But no, that first situation,
That
it
really,
really upskilled us.
Yeah, unsettled.
And
Not
then
us as a couple, but just us in the situation.
So how long did you have a break for, Dan?
Oh, a good 6 months after that, wasn't it?
4, 6. It was a good while, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was a good while.
Yeah, and
but
you know,
we didn't go
you
back
still-
on Fab. The next thing
No.
we did, we went to the Purple Mamba, didn't we?
Yep.
So then, okay, so you took a break from like the online stuff and tried a club.
Because LadyLa still said, like, I really want you to go and see a club,
Yeah.
and just experience it. And once the thoughts in your head, and it's sort of unfinished business. It was like, we'll just go have a
Still
look.
got the itch.
The thing is, if you're like,
Yeah,
if
doesn't always go away, does it?
No.
if you're
Not at
open
all.
to having fun in the bedroom and you are a really close couple like you are, then why not just go out there and just see what is out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to do. So, we tried the Purple Mum, but not on a Friday or a Saturday.
No, it was a Sunday.
We
just
went on a
the drinks
Sunday,
bit.
and I think did they have a workshop?
No.
No.
But
They do workshops.
Yeah,
don't
they do
That's
workshops.
really good.
Yeah.
She showed us round, didn't she? Like a lovely place, really, really well done.
Nice.
So friendly.
Yeah.
We got talking to a few of the locals at the bar.
And that sort of gave us a platform for then going to another club,
Yeah.
which was in Kings Lynn,
Yeah, the Annex. Yeah.
the Annex.
Okay.
And
Which
that then, well, we always said it's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
oh my god!
It's just the friendliest
I was
people
going to
in
say
there,
they
aren't
got
they?
like Ted Danson behind them.
No, but you know how you describe Liberty Elite as your home?
Yes.
That started to feel for us like our home, because there was kind of anybody and everybody was kind of very accepted. And we went on different nights. So we went on a Wednesday night of Greedy Girls,
Yes, yeah.
which was a
We've done
different couple of
couples
fish.
nights, we've done
Bi
party
nights.
nights,
Yeah.
bar
So
nights.
that was the place you think, yeah, this
We
is
ex-
cool. You
Yeah,
felt
you
like you'd
experiment.
found
Yeah.
yourself.
And we've been there more just to be social than we have actually play, haven't we?
Yeah.
So did you like single girls? Did you like couples? What was your dynamic?
I tell you what, we've actually been to a greedy girls' night, and Sir John has been sucked off by a man. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Share everything, darling.
Sorry, darling.
That's the thing, though. And it's
Because it's sorry, darling.
But that just goes to show you.
You can't go there with any.
No, exactly. You
No,
never quite know where it's going to happen.
I mean, we
Expectations.
walked around and we try and talk to everybody because we were there to be social. We do, don't we? We
He's
just
looking at me like, yeah, you really. Just share everything, darling.
This guy walked around and LadyLa's like, "Oh, hi, who are you? Not seen you here before." And I can't remember his name, but he was bloody blah, I'm a bi guy. Her eyes lit up like headlights, you know. She was on main bit.
Give him a nice
Come
bi
and sit and have a
experience."
chat with us.
But it's often talked about where the women are bi and how hot that is, but it's not often talked about where
No.
the woman is attracted to a bi guy experience.
Yeah.
But it's something that's very new to me.
And a lot of women
I've only it's only this last year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That I've.
I was just about to
experimented.
say, so since you guys have been together, has your dynamic changed?
No.
It's just got dirtier.
Has it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're not like, oh, one's the sub and other one's the dom. We mix it up.
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah,
It's just
mistress comes out, and then I have my little sissy bitch sometimes, and then we change it around.
And then she puts on her good girl panties and gets a good spanking.
Yes. So you got to we like to mix it up, but I think for us. You've felt comfortable in exploring the
Yeah, because it's just an intrigue and it's about exploration.
Because
isn't
you're
it?
not, because as you've said, you're a man's man, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not. It's not about being attracted to a man, and it's the same thing as with women. I find, because I'm a bit of an artist, I find the woman form absolutely beautiful. But it doesn't mean that I would want to necessarily be in a relationship with a woman,
Yeah.
but I just find the form beautiful. And
Sexuality is I've discovered sexuality is quite a in-depth thing. It's quite a deep thing.
Yeah.
That like you
and
say,
it's very tangible.
yes.
There's lots of
It is.
levels.
Yes.
To it.
You
Yeah.
might just be attracted to sex with somebody of your same sex when you're in an environment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a sexy environment.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you fancy other people of your same sex on the street when you're walking down.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think I could do it if I wasn't with LadyLa. Yeah, it's something that we've spoken about and explored together, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think
that is part of the kink for me.
That's
Yeah,
the same.
Is doing it.
Yeah, because one of the things
together.
that I wanted to bring into our relationship was sexuality, and your expression of your sexuality is very broad, and so it doesn't matter what your kink is or what you want to do. It's about having that communication and wanting to explore with the other person.
Yeah. It's also nice, and I know it's very much, this is how it's been for me and Mr. N, is that the fact that you can be you completely.
Yeah,
Yes.
just try.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not
try it. You
you're
can
not
have
trying
a
to
little
hide
go.
anything or keep
That's
something.
Have a little tickle, Mr.
Oh, we did.
Make you blush a little bit, Mr. Yeah, you can have a little, because there's always that, I think sometimes there's always that wonder, and particularly I do find with Ben, it is definitely more, not frowned upon, but...
I actually go as far, I think it is in some clubs, I think sometimes, I do just genuinely think it is frowned upon sometimes. I think it's often, sometimes almost expected that it's sexy if the women are bi.
Yeah.
But
it is,
the guys must not be bi. The guys have to be totally straight and everything
And do you know
else.
how many couples we have come across, even when we've been chatting on Fab, where he... the bloke has put himself as straight, but is quite happy to have his cock sucked, or have a little bit of, slap and tickle with, the penis. But the penis. But that. So
Yeah, but
this is where you
also-
kind of think, like, come on, dude, give yourself a bit of a break.
Exactly,
You know,
but also, and I know for a fact that lots of people that me and Mr. N have spoken to, when you start talking about it, there's loads of people that actually find watching two guys incredibly sexy.
Oh God, it's amazing. Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
But it is, and the more you talk to people, you realise. But it's like, well, why?
What about it turns you on, Mrs. N?
That's a hard one to answer because it's just.
For me, it's like, some kind of like Greek, Roman, Odysseus thing.
Really?
It is just really, really hot.
Two boys
and it's
playing
like,
with their winky woos is lovely.
do you find it that it's actually... Stop it. Sorry. Do you find it that I find it like a really masculine thing?
Yeah, very. Very.
Which I don't know whether people would understand that.
No. It's interesting. Because again, if you get two women... I mean, God, that's
a Trojan of Troy.
It's plastered across every porn film.
Oh God, that's beautiful. But
you see, for me, one of the hottest scenes in the film was in Top Gun, where those blokes are,
You've ruined the film Top Gun.
No, the volleyball, and they're like all flexing themselves. I'm like, oh my God, I'd love to see them all bum each other. Like, I really just want to see it.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Penetrating each other on the volleyball.
Top Gun is sacred. You should not go near Top Gun.
I love it. I know, we can't.
If any of the script writers for Top Gun 3 are out there. Okay, we've got
Mr. Tree.
We've got the plot all sorted.
No, but that's the thing, and I think that's the thing that some people probably wouldn't even consider and think of it that way.
No.
But
when,
I just don't understand why it's frowned upon for men to explore but expected for women. It's not something that should be forced on people, but when they want to explore... I
think it's quite an interesting thing. Do you think it's perhaps because it's the way porn is portrayed?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Could be, yeah.
So I think that's got a lot to do with it.
And culturally, I think...
But I think it happens a lot behind closed doors.
Men have to be that total...
In a bigger crowd.
Masculine.
Yeah.
It's all right for the women to play because, that's the totty, that's the eye candy.
Yeah.
But then men have to be that... If you look at the characters in porn films, men are always the strong, dominant...
And there's nothing demasculinating about a man playing with another man, even if it's just inquisitive. But that's
what I'm saying. It's actually a very masculine thing to watch.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly horny.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any other kinks you like?
Oh, well, I'm a voyeur. I'm with you on that, Mr. N.
I'm a voyeur.
I'm quite happy.
Have you always been a voyeur, or are you...
I have, actually. When we've been to clubs, there's been times of where...
You love going in the room and watching, don't you?
You might have played and I've just sat there and gone, oh my God, I need my popcorn.
Is that a euphemism for
something?
Oh no, she literally means popcorn. Salty if they have it.
What are your other kinks, though? I mean, you don't mind. We have the hot wife thing.
We have lots of kinks. We have bits that we do together in the bedroom, and then it's different what we do.
I love
in the
to
clubs,
give a
isn't
good
it?
pegging occasionally.
Yes, you do.
You see, I did try it once on Mr. N, and I felt like I couldn't feel anything. I didn't feel connected.
Well, you see, for me, it's the power.
Right, okay.
So
I have my leather harness. Yeah, again, it's in the mind.
In the mind, yeah.
Yeah, and I love to be able to...
LadyLa is all about the mind, aren't you?
And
from start to finish.
So when we went upstairs...
And I've pegged a woman and a man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Stunning.
Oh, that was the sexiest thing I've ever seen. Because we've had a few
unicorns.
Very beautiful unicorns, haven't we?
We've got our collection. Yeah, TVs, unicorns.
We found unicorns were easier to make
a
connection with, though, than couples, didn't we?
Really?
Yeah. We a lot of people said they found it difficult to find unicorns, but we didn't, did we? It's.
I suppose when you're with another couple, that's an awful lot because you've got 4 people that have got to be sexually attracted to each
We
other.
provide a good buffet, for
Your
a
buffet.
unicorn.
Oh my God.
We provide a very good buffet. If a unicorn wants to come and visit us, just put it out there. We provide a good buffet.
And we can absolutely...
I was going to say I can highly recommend it. It's an amazing buffet.
And the buffet was photographed and sent to us just as we were on our way here.
Yes.
At which point Mrs. N's knickers just fell off.
I didn't have to sit there, look at my watch, waiting for the time to come by. It was there ready.
Just walk through the door and there it is.
And LadyLa has stopped play before with the unicorn and sent me off to go make chicken nuggets and chips and
I have indeed. Yes.
Is that sort of part of Southern Dawn play or just want chicken nuggets?
She just gets hungry.
But I mean, we even had a young woman approach us where she wanted a scenario of being eaten out by a woman and then sucking the other lady's husband's cock.
Yeah.
So we provided that for her.
We
with
do
the
offer
buffet.
a service.
Yeah, with the buffet, chicken nuggets after. But she was on Fab, but she wasn't in the
she was on
swinging
Fab
scene.
for all of about 2 weeks, wasn't she? And she found it too much and came off.
And so...
But for some reason,
Maybe-
she kept chatting to us, didn't she?
Yeah, and maybe it's because we provided her just with a safe space to, sort of explore herself and things like that. But yeah, sent her happily
But
on her way.
we're very laid back, aren't we? We just, even
and I'm quite happy.
messaging on Fab. We don't get pushy.
No.
There's a lot of couples on there that are about when we meeting.
Yeah.
They just want to meet, which is fair enough. Everybody's in it for different reasons.
Yeah.
We like to talk for a bit longer and suss people out. And
Definitely something I think we've learned is there are two types of couple. So there's the couple that actually just don't want any social.
No.
They just want to go and play.
yes,
And they don't want to actually know anything about the people. But then there are couples probably where we fall more into the category. Me and Mrs. N.
Yeah, well, in fairness, in the beginning, I was quite like that. It's like, I don't want to be your friend. I don't really want to know much about you.
You're an unsociable person.
I was terrible. And it was just like, no, I literally, after, a shag and everything. And that's how it was. But that's so different now. Because we've been so lucky that we have had people that we would call really good friends.
Yeah.
And it does give a different dynamic, but it also makes the experience incredibly sexy.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Especially
Because-
when you're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah, and just because you see each other, it doesn't mean you have to, have sex every time or do something every time. It's that friendship does develop. And we met a great couple the last time we were at the Annex, but they were very clear with us. They say, you come and have a social meet with us, you've got half an hour and then we're down to business. And if you
They
don't do
literally
that,
said that, yeah.
you're out the door.
They literally said that.
You're
Yeah.
like an egg time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
And if you don't do
God.
that, you're out the door. And it was
It's
like,
just like,
shit,
oh,
pressure.
geez.
Wow. Yeah.
But we don't care whether we're having a social or going to a club or somebody's come to the lair.
The lair.
We don't care whether we play or not because
No.
we're going to have a great time anyway, and afterwards we're going to have great sex, whatever happens. So
We're always going to want them to come back for more, darling.
Yeah, but we're not. We don't worry if anything happens.
No,
It's about you've got to enjoy the whole thing, and normally it does happen because
That's where-
everybody's so relaxed.
That's
Well,
where
that's what I was just about to say.
you treat it as an enhancement
Yes.
Yeah.
to your existing relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not needed. It's just fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
and where we
yeah.
have had people back 2 or 3 times, we have pushed boundaries on both sides where we've all felt comfortable.
Yeah.
So we've explored a little bit more, like pegging the girl, pegging the unicorn. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. It was great. She loved it. I loved it. Sir John certainly loved it. He was all hot and sweaty in the corner.
I think I was dancing around the bed, wasn't I?
You were
trying
like
to
a
get
little
different
limpet.
angles.
trying to get the best seat in the house. Right?
I can't imagine there would be a bad seat in the house, to be honest, watching that.
But then,
thing is,
even
though,
when
like-
we've had that one single man,
Oh, he's an absolute gentleman.
and he's an absolute legend, and
yeah.
we've had him back twice.
3 times.
Oh no, I lie. Yes, 3 times. And again, we pushed the boundaries on each time. So he's actually in a gay relationship, but he wanted to experience sex with a woman, but also sex with another man.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, he was bi. It wasn't a new thing for him, but he hadn't been with a woman for a long time.
No, but he was very respectful.
But,
he was lovely.
Absolute gentleman, really nice. Yeah.
And he gave us our first kind of hot wife scenario,
Yeah.
really. And that was really good.
Do you think because LadyLa, you've like you said, you had already kind of experienced things when you were young?
I went to an all-girls school. What do you expect?
That's where the kink comes from. That's where the kink comes from. And you said, Sir John, that you had more, sheltered.
Very much sheltered in comparison.
Do you think that's like brought you closer together? Because now you've got to explore things together.
I just think with us two it was inevitable. Like from the moment we met there was a spark, wasn't there?
You're a very sexual person anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might
I just
have
didn't
claimed
have
all the innocence card.
outlet, but I showed you a few.
But
new
there's
things,
lots of
didn't
couples that...
No, he
that-
was just wanking behind hedges.
I? Jesus Christ.
Pictures of Sam Fox.
Now, if it was pictures of tractors, Tina Von Teese could tell you a story.
tractors.
Oh, she started talking dirty to me.
Oh,
Last
God,
time
he
we
loves,
had
he loves a good John Deere.
Tina knows all about this. You'll have to listen to our previous... Any listeners, you'll have to listen to our previous shows to understand
Oh,
about Tina and the
loves
tractors.
I still want to know the name of the politician.
Everybody does. She's
She's never going to tell.
A lady never tells.
No, she would never tell us. I think it was Donald Trump. But
I think we balance each other out. I do.
But there's so many couples out there in Muggle world, as we call it, where you do get couples that are of different sexual levels.
Yeah.
But won't dare. And you do use the word dare. And I don't mean that as in daring people to go and do it, because this lifestyle is definitely not for everyone. But I'm always curious as to what makes that couple actually go for it.
We're just really inquisitive, aren't we?
Yeah, but we've seen couples in the Muggle world of where we've said to each other, oh God, you can see he really needs to get his leg over, and she's as fucking frigid as anything.
Yeah, let's be honest, you're practically an infomaniac.
I know, you want to say to him, God, he needs a fanny toy for Christmas, and she needs a dildo. Don't you? So, but I think the key to that is communication. That is absolutely.
But if
imperative.
you go back to when we first got together, there was a lot of building up trust, and because can you remember in the early days I sent you a text message, telling you I'm going to do something to you tonight. You have to agree to it. You've got 10 minutes. After 4 p.m, I need to know by 4:10.
Yeah.
And you proper freaked out. You was like, I'm not.
I thought he was going to be dressed in my clothes. I did. I thought you were going to be dressed in my clothes. I thought, oh, shit, he's a cross-dresser and I don't know.
It got to 10 minutes past 4 and I was like, okay, I'll ask you again another day. And she freaked out completely because I'd taken away then. Yeah. She's like, no, bring back my toy.
That's a really good game, actually.
Yeah.
And I blindfolded you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, God. And I sat her down and I'd cooked steak, I had strawberries, and I tied you to the chair and I just fed you different food, didn't I?
Yes.
That sounds like a fucking perfect night. I'd sit there, I'd take that from
I tell you what, it took down all of my barriers.
She was very...
I was totally at his
LadyLa was
mercy.
very much about being in control, not letting go. So just for a start, for me, I just took away your control, took away your hands, just left you with your sense of taste and smell.
Yep.
Was that a new experience for you?
And it was quite an emotional,
quite
an emotional experience for me, actually, because there was no sex involved. It was just purely the fact that I was at his mercy. And you know, I had a great steak and I had some really nice hazelnut ice cream, but it was
yes, we did have hazelnut ice cream,
but it was like you say, it was quite touching. It was extremely intimate.
Yeah,
very, very, very
and
intimate.
That built up, obviously. You know,
like
you were very much in
and
control. You like to be very much in control with me. So then it got to the point where I tied you to the bed. And
you say I'm like Hyacinth Bouquet.
Yes, you are.
You call me bloody Hyacinth Bouquet.
So if we ever get invited round for a candlelit supper,
Richard.
He even said today at the airport, "Am I allowed to go for a wee?" I was like, "Yes, you can go for a wee now." I'm only joking.
But no, it was a case of we built up trust, and it did take a while. Even in that stage, we had a lot of, I'd say, awkward conversations. You know, being honest with each other about what we liked.
I can remember when
you
first said to me that you'd watched porn about blokes.
Bi porn,
Bi porn, and I was like, right, that's it. If you want to have a look at that, that's it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like proper against it to begin with.
That's interesting, because it's like, you know,
if that's what you're looking after.
People listen to this podcast, they will be on all sorts of different levels.
Yeah.
And so they'll hear it and go, well, no, I'm definitely not into that. So I'm not, you know, I couldn't do that.
I was not comfortable with it to begin with. I needed 24 hours or 48 hours just to get my head around it.
If I was being totally honest, in my younger years, I was very much like, if there was anything sort of gay porn on TV or men kissing each other or anything, I was literally, I can't watch it, and that's how it was.
Yes, yeah. So, I was the same when I was younger.
Yeah,
very much like, oh no, you don't do that kind of thing.
And you know, in fairness, he said to me, well, I've, you know, we left it that night, and then he said to me, I've shared something with you, and I don't want it to come between us, because if that's not going to make you happy, then we can just leave the conversation. And then that conversation opened up, because I thought, well, you know, if that is what his thoughts and feelings are, I need to be receptive and understanding of that as well.
But and it wasn't a case of it was any kind of suggestion that there was no suggestion we'd do any of that.
No, you were just
talking about what kind of things
what his
we're
thought
into.
Pattern was, you know.
I mean, in the real early days, you told me about your experiences with ladies when you're younger, and like being the eager guy I was like, well, if you want to try it whilst we're together, you know, feel free.
That's so gallant of you, Sir John.
She turned around to me and said, well, if that's what you want, you need to look for somebody else. But, you know,
And it's the same thing as I was really surprised that we shared that experience that evening. I mean, it was an amazing experience. And I think we can safely say we all walked away from that on a massive high.
Broken. And high five, Mr.
Yeah, can I just say to your viewers,
it was an amazing experience for you ladies. Us guys had a couple of days to recover.
He needed Haribo and a special blanket. Mr. and Mrs. M broke him.
I've not been back to the gym since. My thighs are still hurting.
We did. It was a special moment.
It actually came up in conversation today. I'm going to get one of those 90s sweatbands. And Mrs. N ready.
He needs a kamikaze band ready for Mrs. N. I'll tell you what, this lady's insatiable. I love it.
I'll tell you what.
But what they didn't tell you, boys and girls, on the podcast is after Sir John was really hot and sweaty, Mrs. N got up and opened a window, made me suffer the whole way through until we were finished.
She just
a fucking window. Seriously.
Stop you mid-flow. It's been ruined. It was like...
It's at the point, it's like, okay, it's at the point now I've gone beetroot red. Now we'll open the window.
But you see, we had always been, right, that's it, you're not doing anything. Not that I had ever said, I wasn't comfortable with Sir John doing anything with another woman. Mm-hmm. But I have to say this, a big but. But when we had connected with you guys made us feel so comfortable and so at ease. And because your dynamic, we could tell how in love you were.
There was no risk, was there, as far as you were
But in
concerned?
fairness, that's exactly how we felt about you.
Yeah, you see.
Exactly, because I've never
And I
been
was
shy.
like- and when I saw you with Sir John, I was like, go on, girl. Mr. Ren and I were like, yes, go.
We got the popcorn. We were just sitting.
But I've never been shy to say about, I get jealous.
This is why I thought that, the podcast with Miss Foxy, and when you were talking about it, I thought, God,
Yeah.
I really witnessed to that.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, you listened to it just before that night, didn't you?
yeah, and I said to you after we finished, just because we've like nailed it with Mr. and Mrs. N doesn't mean you've got open season. He said,
No, but
absolutely no way. Do you know what I mean?
But that's
It's not
the
open
same as I
season.
said to you, isn't it? Like, I don't want to just do that all the time.
No, because there's got to be that chemistry. There's got to be that.
Because again, the fun part of that for me was when LadyLa put my cock in.
And Mr. M. I
And
mean,
Mr. M, yeah.
we double duoed it there.
Yeah.
We were like, yes, it's like a candy stick.
I was genuinely worried about it, and then looking over and seeing how horny and excited you were, I was like, oh, this is okay.
Oh God, it was amazing.
It
But it was, I
was
think-
incredible.
Awesome.
We openly checked with each other.
Yeah, we did.
There was
Yes.
a lot of
All
communication.
four of
Yeah.
us did, because
There was
you
I think-
said it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But there was and I know a lot of people say, it's like always those awkward conversations. That's one thing we never felt with you. It wasn't awkward
No.
at all.
No.
But I think if you're a couple and the other couple that you're playing with openly communicate with each other at the time, why would the other couple have an issue with that? It's
Yeah.
like if you're
Yeah.
communicating when we're in the middle of something, and that's nice to see, because it's actually kind of validation for everybody in the room.
Yes, yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And so it makes you just feel
You
more
want
comfortable.
that good energy in the room, don't you? That's
yeah.
when everybody's into it, it's so sexy.
It is.
And you
And that
Right.
goes
Sexy.
for soft swaps, full swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a few really good soft swaps, and just everybody's really into it, and it's really horny. And it is, like you say, it's making sure everybody's
Yeah,
on the
that's
same
where Sir John
page,
was jumping
everybody's
around
enjoying
like
it.
a leprechaun around the bed.
That was because he was trying to get the
Candy
feelings
kid.
back. Working
But you see, for us, some couples will go there and say, right, that's it, we just want to have sex, and that is our aim, and that's fine, But
We've never
others
set out with an aim,
need-
have we?
I think the nicest part though was exploring.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
that's
like
what-
exploring.
Yeah, and I felt I'd explored my own sexuality that night, and I'd also pushed my own personal boundaries of where I had said to Sir John, right, that's it, you're never having a woman. But because Mrs. N had made me feel so at ease, and so had you, Mr. N, that you could see the dynamic, that I thought, oh God, yeah, I can do this. Like, it's okay.
But I think that was the thing. The key is what you've said. Throughout the entire evening, we were all communicating with each other. It was all the time. It was like, "Are you okay? Is everybody okay? Are we?" And
Communication is
it does make a massive difference, because when everybody's on the same page,
Yes.
you
yeah.
relax, you enjoy yourself.
I wonder why is it the typical British thing that communication stops once play starts, so you can't it's got to be all sultry and sexy.
Yeah.
People don't talk enough. do
That's
they?
true.
That is very true, and that makes it really. I mean, like LadyLa, they're giving instructions, and
Well, the thing, funnily enough, it's like after that evening, Mr. N said to me that it was LadyLa that just got him, because you got into his head,
Yes,
and that's what
yeah.
he finds incredibly sexy.
No one else
has ever done
has
that.
ever done that. Where sex obviously for you begins in the brain,
Yeah.
definitely.
yes, yeah.
And you were like openly playing and it's like, holy shit, this is like...
It's hot.
Yeah,
It's
and that
really
was the thing.
hot.
So that whole thing, and in fairness, when you started, that kind of then got me going a bit.
Yeah.
And so we were both.
I was
like,
a little bit scared.
You should be, Mr. M. She's only just got going.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Yeah, it was all right, but poor old Sir John, every time I was going, keep going, keep going, keep going. He's like, for fuck's sake!
Jesus, it's all I've got. I didn't have the power captain.
Do they have a defib?
Well,
I did have to go
It's all
downstairs
right.
for an adrenaline
Give
shot.
CPR, it's fine.
So I'm really interested to know, because obviously you guys seem very open about trying different things and stuff. Is there anything that you've tried that you've both gone, woo, we're not doing that again?
Ooh. The first time I saw you be bottomed by a bloke, I had a absolute
Catatonic meltdown.
yeah.
Like
But
literal.
That was the first time.
You just sat on the floor and.
But then also,
what was like the very first bi experience?
Yeah, so
Well, oral before that, but that was the first. Yeah.
so John was bottom, and I think I'd had a bad day at work,
Yeah.
and I wasn't in the right headspace.
This
So
is something
good.
we've realised
Yeah.
is you need to be in the right head. Everything's got to be.
Yeah.
We said the biggest piece of advice we give to any newbies we chat to now, because we love chatting to newbies, is don't rush any of it. Don't put pressure on yourself. If it doesn't feel right, just don't do it.
And if you're not feeling quite 100%, or you're thinking, oh, can I do it, or like, can I go tonight or not? You know, really think about it.
A bit of nerves is okay,
Yeah,
but
but
if
for
you're
me-
not
Yeah,
in
if
that
you're not
mind
in
For me,
frame,
I'd had a
Yeah.
tough day
If
at
you've
work, and
got-
we'd set our mind to like, right, we're going to do this tonight, and I wasn't in the right space.
that's sometimes where the clubs are better, because
And that's-
if you're not in the right space, you just don't go to the club.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
ours was the
Just go
same.
Whereas
off.
that was a pre-arranged meet.
And I have to be so
Yeah.
grateful for that gentleman that came around, was so respectful and said, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, he just stood back, went out the room.
Cool, I'm going to
And I
go
said,
home and give myself,
I said, "Oh,
you know.
we're going to have to call it an evening," and
Yeah.
he went
And
home.
you know what? And he came back.
Yeah,
And it was brilliant.
and you rocked his world.
And
You
yours.
destroyed him.
And yours.
I didn't get him going. You left him with nothing.
So for us, there's not much that we wouldn't do.
No,
Is there-
there's bits that we've done, like you love a spanking. Tried
Yes,
it on me.
I do.
I do not do pain. Does not. I have a.
Hey, you're a real pussy when it comes to that.
I just have an instant reaction. If somebody hits me, I want to hit back. And it's not the kind of thing you want in a playroom. Is it? It's not going to work for me, guys. I'm going to stand
There's a
back.
lot of owies, ow, owie, ow.
Knob.
Tina Von Teese and Roxy teach us that it's not all about pain. It
No.
can be just
No, I
about
totally agree. It's a
sensation.
Yeah,
sensation.
she
It's a
does
sensation.
like. For
me, it's
you
a
do
sensation.
like to build me up, like almost like it's not tickling, but just light touches up and down the spine and
Yeah.
the sides.
Yeah, more the sensation play rather
Yeah.
than...
No, there's not much.
But even with that, you've left me to the point where I couldn't walk. You've just had my whole body trembling that much, and I've done the
Because
same
it's
to
the
you.
sensation.
Yeah.
It's just the build up, doing it over a long
Yeah.
periods of time.
It's almost
Basically,
like
we've tried
tantric.
most things, and we had to bring other people in because we run out.
I don't think we've run out, dear.
Our list ran out, so we had to bring in extra resources.
But being like that, when you're talking about that sensation, it is almost like tantric. I think if
very
you,
much,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
look at those
What,
things.
what does Roxy always call it?
Subspace.
Subspace. That's
It
the
is,
one.
it is. It's definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had to say to you, you were taking the piss, and I was just like, just leave me alone. I need a moment. And you was like, oh, okay. And then you realised what you'd done then, didn't you?
You just needed a minute on
You
that.
just
That was
stayed
like the
with me.
first time Mrs. N had anal sex.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I thought I damaged her in some way.
I couldn't actually talk for a good 5 minutes.
You see, I really admire you with the anal sex thing because I'm tighter than a shark's arse. That is why I was like really glad when Sir John gave you a good go because I'm like, yes, finally he's having some anal sex because every time we've tried it, I'm like, no, just have it with boys. Just have it with boys. I can't do it. No amount of lube. I am a tight arse.
Well, I'm happy to oblige.
Thank you. That's fine. This is why she's my pussy twin.
Apparently so.
Well,
yeah, explain, Mr. N.
Do you know, it's funny you say that because when I was looking at your pictures, I actually said to Sir John, my God, her pussy looks very similar to mine. And then you said it.
yes, because it felt the same. I was like, oh my God.
Hey, we can tag team this. Hey, that's fine. That's absolutely fine by me. You are welcome to it.
The thing is, though, there were all the uncool things to say. I was like, oh, your pussy's just like my wife's. That's like an everyday conversation.
I was like, really? He was like, oh God, yeah. I was like, okay.
I know, well, that's cool.
LadyLa wasn't offended because she said how nice a pussy Mrs. N has. So.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That's the Christmas card for next year.
That's all sorted.
You get matching jumpers.
Yeah. Knitted. Lovely. Get a vajazzle together, dear.
We couldn't we?
Love to get a vajazzle.
You know, our best mates get like tattoos and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I'm not coming up with bits of Diamond sticks in the forehead.
Oh dear.
Oh yes, Sir John looks like Eddie Izzard. He's been down in the vajazzle department again.
He'll be passed out in the corner.
Give him 10, he'll be fine.
Yeah, we just need to build your stamina up, chick. You'll be alright.
Sorry.
If it makes you feel any better, Mr. N has the same problem because I'll go, keep going, a bit harder.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I'm giving it all I've got.
I get the same thing. I know.
Yeah, but when LadyLa switches roles, she puts her bloody back out, so...
That's only with my cock. Come on. We did that on Christmas Day last year and I did my back out and my back was screwed for 3 days. I know, you know.
Telling everybody she's done it at work.
I was going to say, what was the excuse on that one?
Sir John wanted a Christmas Day pegging and I ended up putting my back out.
Oh no!
These women give it all a big one, Mr. N.
Yes.
They can't manage it. They have no idea what we go through. We struggle on.
There's going to be guys listening to this at home going, that's fucking first world problems, that is.
LadyLa got really upset the other week because she had a nasty cold. And at the end of the week, she said, I'm just not happy. I'm like, what's the matter? We've only had sex twice this week. I said, some people are happy if they get that a year. It's okay, you felt ill. No, I've let the side down.
I felt terrible. I felt terrible for that.
Well, I hope you've made up for it since.
Well, yes, very much.
So, are there any things you want to explore in the future?
I don't think they've got anything left.
I'd really like to do the TV thing a bit more.
Yes, that would be fun, wouldn't
Yes.
it? Yes, darling.
Yes, I think that would be rather marvellous.
And I've always...
I'd quite like to, double tag team
I've always had the
TV.
idea of a
You
sex
go on
octopus.
top, I go on bottom, and then we can mix and match it a bit.
Mix and match it a bit.
On the TV thing, that'd be really cool.
That's it. Yeah. That's cool.
So it's like, okay. Oh yeah, the sex octopus. Yeah, I mean, Sir John has
I
this.
just like the idea of a pile of bodies, with its arms and limbs everywhere. It almost looks like a sex octopus.
It's very 1970s. It's like the 1970s porn films that everybody's sort of like mushed up together and
okay.
You have
sweaty and
you have seen the big bed on one of our events.
Jesus,
haven't you?
that's an eye opener, isn't it?
I love
My
that.
word.
That's great.
I can remember the first time we went into the annex, and I'm stood there at the bar chatting away, and then suddenly it gets to like dress down time, and the ladies are coming out with their boobs out, and I'm like staring straight forward at my beer. I'm like, I don't know whether I can look. I mean, now I know the right thing to say is, "You look lovely." But then I was like, "Oh my god, there's boobs. Where do I look? I don't want it to think I'm staring."
Yeah. But that is the difference between going into a pub and going into a club.
Yeah.
But then I think also we need to develop our skills as a couple with other couples as well. I mean, the single man thing is not too bad. We've put that on the back burner.
We kind of give up
for
with
a
that.
bit.
Just find.
Well, you get irritated with, you want to have a fuck.
And then you get a few you chat with, and then they just start talking too much about. We've had it like where. Messaging you and like, are you by yourself? Is he there with you now?
Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
Just like,
it's too much.
No,
does he know
off.
you're talking to me?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
It's not what it's
chill
about.
Being, love.
Yeah.
Chill you
We
being.
found that the one single guy, and he is a real gentleman, and that's been it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We put that to bed, really.
Yeah.
But I think we're just going to keep, as we are experimenting and just doing what feels like fun, aren't
Darling,
we, really?
life's for the living. We might as well enjoy all the wonderful sexual things that life has to offer.
Definitely. I think what the key of is what you said. There's going to be, we get lots and lots of messages saying, my partner's not into this, but I am.
Yeah.
And I think something you've said today is really important. Is the fact that the hard work that you've put in is the communication. And it is hard work.
Oh, yeah, completely.
You put yourself out there, like you put yourself out there, and you admitted it. Sir John, that you admitted something that
it was an intrigue.
an
I
intrigue
watched it
and kink and
Took me just a couple of days to get my
But
head
it
around.
was a big something I never admitted to anybody before that moment.
Yeah, but I think that just goes to show the level of respect you have for each other, because it's like, even though you'd had that conversation and LadyLa was a little bit, I'm not sure, I need a bit of time, and you respected her enough to give her that space and give her that time to.
Yes, yeah.
We didn't fall out over it.
No, exactly, and that's what I mean, and I think that is the key, because I know we always bang on about it, but we do get messages like you've just said, where people are, I'm into it and my other half isn't.
The other one is how do I get my partner into it? It's
You don't.
You don't.
You can't force somebody.
You've got to communicate with your partner, not with us.
Your sexuality is so important to you. It is an extension of your character. It's who you are. It's not something to be shied away from. It's not something that needs to be hidden behind closed doors. And I think, your sexuality isn't necessarily what you identify as, or, what you see yourself as. Your sexuality is about an exploration about your body, your mind, and what you like and what you don't like within yourself, for your body, for your soul. And that goes across genders, goes across any identity or whatever. I
think that's beautifully said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't stop. Your exploration carries on and can carry on for your entire life. Like we say, there's no destination.
No.
Just carry on.
Yeah.
And if you can do that with your partner, you've just summed up exactly what the naughty hobby is.
Yeah, we've said, if in 6 months we say, okay, we've done now, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
can we still come round for buffet?
But if we say in 6 years or 16 or whatever, but we would still like to retain those friends that we've made.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we've never ever put a time limit on it. We've never said, right, this is it now and this is what it's going to be like forever. Although, looking back at it now... It took quite a while
for you to actually say to yourself, you were like, we're actually swingers now, aren't we? because like we were just having a look and exploring for a while, and then then after about 6 months, like LadyLa's like,
I find it really difficult not to tell everybody that we're swingers
well,
now.
you do now, yeah.
Mr. Zen said the same thing.
I did say
Exactly
the
the
same
same
thing.
Telling everybody like, oh my god, right, we're swingers. This is the way we roll.
But that's how you change, though, isn't it? You know, you didn't want to admit to yourself
But I
in the
can see
beginning.
Sir John rolling
now
his
you can't
eyes.
keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you roll your eyes, going, oh shit,
No,
here,
I
she's
get
on
that
it
because
again.
I was the same, and it's like I've
so
said to
proud of it.
Mr. N many a time, and I don't consider myself a swinger at all.
No, we've got all the pampas grass out there.
In fact, as we were driving here this evening, Mr. N just went, "That's got to be their house. There's a big pile of pampas grass."
It wasn't your house.
It wasn't your house at all. So you've got some neighbours that are swingers, obviously.
Definitely.
I know. But we do, and I know Sir John goes, oh, yeah, she's on it again. So now she's starting. He's like, will you stop? Will you just behave yourself?
Once again, that's first world problems. There's many guys sitting listening to this going, fuck.
Oh, I am having more sex in my 40s than I ever did in my 20s. It's incredible.
Well, you even said that your body count has gone up since we've been together, since you were even single.
It's quite considerable. But I think the best thing is sex now as against when you sex in your early 20s is we understand ourselves more.
Yes.
Yeah, we understand our bodies.
That's true.
And I know, I think for me, I know as a woman in her 40s, I can say, I am worried about, my rolls and, my thighs and things like that. But then I'm far more aware of my body and what I like and what I don't like, more so than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, there are scars and bits that I carry that I think, well, no, I'm proud of that. And, if somebody wants to see that with me, that is what I'm happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even for guys, though, a lot of guys, you're always thinking
We've
about...
got a few rolls. They don't have to have a bloody six-pack, for
But
God's sake.
you're always worried about, am
Or
I
a
going to
big
be
dick.
big enough and all that kind of... I mean, you walk round Libs and you look round and you think, he needs a licence to wield that because there's some big members in there. But nobody cares. It's not about about that. Everybody's enjoying it.
No, we
all
sort
body
of
types.
graduated now into Libs, you see. I think
Yeah,
that's how
but
we
the
feel.
same,
We've
same
sort of
in other
worked.
clubs, isn't it?
That's like our high school now, you see.
But that's the thing. There's a lot more to it than just sex.
Yeah.
Oh, sex is just the fringe benefit, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our biggest thing that's come out of it for us, which we've said many a time, is communication.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We don't argue anymore because we talk that much that we now know. We all get to the point where you get angry about something, and we now know just to leave the other person alone for a minute, think about it, and then talk about it afterwards. Yeah. And we just don't, in our early days to how we are now, we don't argue. We might have a bit where we turn around to each other
we
and
did have some blazing ones to begin with.
You're being a
because
dick
you've got
now.
to separate the wheat from the chaff. You have to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Well, we're very passionate together, so that passion comes out in all ways. Anger, everything's an extreme.
Of course, yeah.
If you're madly in love, when you're pissed off, you're really pissed off.
Yeah.
But we've learned.
You always say to me that I'm the most annoying person you've ever met.
Yes, definitely. But you're also the only person I've ever cared enough about to annoy me that much.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Yes, darling.
I think it is absolutely just beautiful watching you two.
It is.
Just you have the best relationship. It is just, and it is an absolute honour to have met you, chat with you, and spend time with
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah, well,
We've
we'd
sort
say
of
the same,
muddled our way through it, but we've done all right.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You're super duper welcome.
And the buffet.
Oh yeah, Mrs. A's just sitting there all full of glee.
I am.
And sausage rolls and grapes.
Can't let her leave hungry. It would just be an insult.
Do I still
She'll
get
have
my fanboy photo before everybody leaves?
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
even start.
Yes.
The B2B
Talk
podcast
silly.
has been here.
Ridiculous.
Go above the
You'll have
mantelpiece.
to come and see us at our country estate next.
Yes. So your name on Fab is Town and Country, isn't
Yes,
it?
indeed.
Spelt in a unique way.
She wanted it with a fab twist.
Town and Country. 83.
Yeah.
I absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Mr. and Mrs. N. Thank you very much for having us.
And just promise us that you'll come on the podcast again and carry on telling us about your journey.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm sure we can find time at some point.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Amazing.
All the best.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.